Welcome back, race fans, to the NASCAR 15 Let's Play, as we are getting set to give the command here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the running of the Brantley Gilbert Big Machine Brickyard 400. It's always special to return to this historic racing venue. Indiana is home to many NASCAR drivers, all of whom grew up with big dreams of kissing the bricks here at Indy. With so much tradition and so much history at this track, drivers push themselves that much harder to accomplish what not many have been able to. It's time to find out who will cross the bricks into victory lane. This is NASCAR on McBlam Racing. And the pace car makes its way down pit road as we come to the Yard of Bricks 2x2 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're sitting on the pole. Winner of the race last year, Jimmie Johnson, to our outside. Green flag is in the air. We're underway.
Here we go, buddy. Coming to the green. Car outside. Car two back. Keep it low. Keep it low. Car outside. Got your door. High side's clear.
David Ragan making a bold move for the second spot as he's battling side by side with Jimmie Johnson. And we have pulled out to an early lead down the back straightaway. They seem to be almost 3 wide behind us. Someone's making it 4 wide down the back as we're going down into turn 3. We're still out front. Advantage Jimmie Johnson. Nope, David Ragan. Johnson and Ragan side by side as we come to complete lap 1.
Way to go, buddy. You're holding the fastest time right now.
Logging the fastest lap of the race so far. But it's only the first lap. Someone definitely has the time to beat it. As Jimmie Johnson has cleared David Ragan, and David Ragan and Clint Boyer now battling for third. That start is what we needed to get ourselves out front. And Ragan and Johnson battling side by side just allowed me to pull away from them and get out into some clean air. Lead is about a second over Jimmie Johnson as of right now. We're coming down to complete lap 2.
Nice lap. Good job. Really good.
Which was apparently faster than our last lap. But Jimmie Johnson has now taken the fastest lap of the race. He is catching up to us ever so slightly. Followed closely by Clint Boyer. Clint Boyer, I believe, was last year's runner-up. So no surprise that he's doing well here. We're just trying to hold our line and be as smooth as possible. Nice and smooth through turns 3 and 4. And we've actually bettered our lap time.
Nice lap. Much faster.
And
You got the fastest car out there right now.
And we have now taken over the fastest lap of the race from Jimmie Johnson, but well, that happened. A little bit of a problem in turn 1 that time. That's going to cost us a little bit of time. Turn 1 is kind of our Achilles heel here. And I believe it's because of just the markings on the ground. It kind of throws me off a little bit, and it's just a little bit disorienting coming down into turn 1. Because as you can see, I get into 3 and 4 really well. We're almost 2 seconds over Jimmie Johnson right now.
Okay, 20 to go. No one's going to touch you out here today.
20 laps to go. Pit stops will play a factor here. We just got to hope that there's no caution. As you can see, we're putting up the brake bias to try to get us a little bit, try to help us a little bit. Maybe that'll help us in turn 1. it's really not a surprise that I'm out here leading this early on and pulling this big of a gap. I did it last season in my rookie year, and it really wasn't that difficult for me to get around the track. Once I get in clean air, I am extremely hard to beat here. We're really hard to beat once we're in clean air. In traffic, it's a little bit more difficult. And what I'm thinking I might do for the next season is I might purposefully qualify mid-pack just to give it a little bit more of a challenge. But right now we're pulling away to an absolute dominating lead so far. Johnson and Boyer running second, have not changed hands. They've pulled a little bit of a gap on the rest of the field. So AJ Allmendinger moves his way into fourth.
Keep digging, buddy. It's not over yet.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad turn 1 and 2, but not a bad turn 1, but not a great turn 1. It's definitely a little bit disorienting going into the turn with the markings on the ground like that. Out here leading some laps, so I gotta wonder what are pit stops going to do. Will it be one of those things where I actually pull away to a bigger lead, or will a caution come out and mire me back in the field? Gotta wonder what pit stops are going to do. That's the extra challenge of this. But a lot of this speed is due to the Delta Force Racing setup, Delta Force Agency setup. And you'll notice their card always pops up in the corner of the videos at some point. And for those who play NASCAR 15 and you want some decent setups to help you, they definitely have some. And once you're there, it's really just kind of minor tweaking, unless you're just not, I would say unless you're really not good at the track. And that's for usually places like Charlotte. For me, so
We having fun out there?
Watkins Glen and a few others, but for the most part, their setups are really spot on, and they take no time for me to really get used to. Getting a little bit tight. That's tire wear starting to show a little bit. As we are slowly but surely approaching the halfway point. I think I'm starting to feel that tire wear a little bit. Opening up to a 4-second lead now over Jimmie Johnson. Clint Boyer still running third. They have not changed hands so far. Allmendinger still running fourth. The field has spread out somewhat. Looks like they're kind of running their single file with a few battles. See, like, turn 1 is just not good to us. We kind of messed up 2 a little bit that time. Had to lay out of the gas. And that allowed Jimmie Johnson to close the gap just a little bit. He's closing ever so slightly. As you can see, we're trying to lay back a little bit and try to conserve our tires. Basically conserve our car. Two more laps.
Use that clean air. Keep digging.
2 more laps to the halfway point. And I'm not sure if I want to pit around the halfway point or if I'll just wait until later. As you can see, like, the front 4 have just not changed hands. There's not a lot of action up front. Looks like all the action is most likely in the middle of the field. As you see, we now have at least about... Looks about like 4 distinct packs. Johnson and Boyer running their line. Allmendinger looks to be out there by himself, as that third pack seems to have broken apart a little bit. We got 2 more packs forming. Some cars have broken away from that pack. And they seem to be making their way up through the field. Okay, not a bad turn 1 that time. Better in turn 2. But we're usually fine in turn 2. It's turn 1 that's usually really bad for us. Getting into the orange on the fuel so far. Which means pit stops will be coming up shortly. We're going into turns 3 and 4. That was my fault. I overdrove that some. Approaching the halfway point. It'll be halfway when we cross the bricks this time by. And looks like cars are already coming down pit road.
We can do this all day.
Oh boy. A little too overzealous there in turn 1. But we gather it back up. And again, that allows Johnson to close in just a little bit. He closes in under that 4-second mark every time we make mistakes like that. We just don't want to make a big enough mistake. And we definitely don't want a wall glitch. If we wall glitch, that's pretty much going to ruin things, as we just pop the wall there a little bit. But yeah, if we wall glitch, that'll be a big problem. So we're just trying to do our best to keep it off the wall. Even if that means we have to slow down quite a bit. 3 3/10 back is Jimmie Johnson. He is catching us. We're now in the red on fuel now. We'll just start backing up a little early now. Looks like more cars are entering pit road. So this will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the points. Because I'm not sure where Dale Earnhardt Jr. is. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and I have been having a pretty spectacular battle for the points lead. And if this were the old school point system, this would be fairly exciting. But we do have the chase, and the chase is just going to shake things up. And I wonder if either us or Dale Earnhardt Jr.
10 to go. Nice and smooth. You're way out in front.
I wonder if either of us will be able to carry this momentum into the chase. Because if we can carry this momentum into the chase, this will make the chase much more exciting. And we'll have much more... It'll be a much deserved win to whoever comes out on top. But we also have Jeff Gordon, who's been coming into the mix. He got 2 wins this past go around. He won at...
Save your fuel, buddy. I can't say this enough. Save,
he didn't low on fuel, but yeah, Jeff Gordon won. I believe he won the last 2 races. After not having a win for a long time. So Jeff Gordon's also moved his way up. As you can see, we're passing cars down pit road.
Hit this lap. I want you to come down pit road right now.
10-4. And as you can hear, we're coming down pit road this time by.
Whatever you're doing, you just keep doing it.
Make our way down the back straightaway. We've been kind of fortunate. We haven't dealt with any traffic yet. As the whole field is pretty much 1 lap down.
You ready, buddy? We're low on fuel.
So we're coming into turns 3 and 4 this time. Going to be coming down pit road this time by. Not going to make any changes to it. Just going to take 4 tires and fuel.
Watch your speed. No penalty.
Be out on our way.
Let's get plenty of fuel in there. We need 4 tires, 10-4.
And we're going to make sure.
Okay, buddy, we're standing by.
We're going to make sure that. Make sure we get some. Make sure we have a good clean pit stop. Make sure we get out there and don't spin it out on the apron, because it's actually pretty easy to do here at the Brickyard. I did it a couple of times during practice, to be honest. Not this season, but last season I remember doing that specifically.
Remember what we practiced. Let's do this.
And here's our pit stop. The Team KAOS paint scheme sponsored by Tiger Moine Energy, hoping for something good and clean. As pretty much the whole field will pretty much get their laps back this time around. And we should
Way to go, boys. Nice pit.
still cycle around to the lead.
Now, buddy. Stay focused. We can do this. Doing great. Nice and steady. Second place is way back.
Trying to get our way up to speed here, but Johnson is closing quickly. He is within 8 seconds. Now within, yeah, just within 8. Approaching 7. Johnson is 7 seconds back. And pretty much from here on, it's just smooth sailing. As long as we just have to be smooth and keep our nose clean and just run our pace. Like I said, this clean air is just it's the tell-all be-all. If you can get out in clean air here and there's no cautions, you're pretty much set for the rest of the race. Because I think that's what happened in the NASCAR Viewer's Choice series that I was doing. We were mired in traffic trying to work our way around, but I feel like the leader never changed hands, and I would have to go back and look at that footage again just to see, but I don't think the leader ever changed hands. I'm pretty sure he led all the laps there. And I don't think I had introduced pit stops into that race yet. So we were still doing tire wear fuel use times 1, and I believe that was a 10% race. But we were also doing it with the default setup. And the default setup here is surprisingly tight. 6 laps to go, but yeah, the default setting here is surprisingly tight. Almost undrivably tight. Like, there's absolutely no way I would have qualified on the pole to be pulling away like I am now with the default setup. Just because you have to back out of the turns a whole lot. So as opposed to, okay, backing out here, I would have to, and getting on back here, I would have to back up much sooner and lay off pretty much up until I was getting out of the turn. And it's not to say it's not possible to win races. It's just, it's hard.
5 to go.
And
okay, let's use that clean air. Keep digging.
I can kind of deal with the loose car in this game, but dealing with a tight car is just, it gets really bad. Especially in the NASCAR Thunder 2003 series, where it's just, when the car is just undrivably tight and you can't hold the bottom, everyone just drives underneath you and just passes you. With a loose car, yeah, you can go into the turns pretty well, but you can't gas it off as much. But at least you're not giving up the bottom, you're not giving up a whole bunch of spots, and you can kind of hang on to the car a little bit.
4 to go.
As long as it's not wrecking loose. If it's wrecking loose, that's a completely different story. But you see, we're now coming up on our first lap car.
Nice and smooth. You're way out in front. Use that clean
Looks
air.
like Josh Wise up ahead. I'm not 100% sure. I think the guys I usually watch play this game, they must have a bigger screen. Yeah, that's Josh Wise. I can tell now. But they usually have a bigger screen, and it feels like they can see, because I don't understand how they can see like that far away in the game sometimes, unless they do have a larger screen and they can see the paint schemes a little bit better. So we'd have to be careful around this lap traffic. 3 laps to go. We do not want to bring out a caution and just have a green-white checker situation. We don't want that. So we should be able to pass Josh Wise pretty easily coming off of 2 this time. Oh, not quite. Josh Wise got a little bit of speed. So we're going to have to draft him going down into turns 3 and 4. See if we can get a
Good
run off
drafted play
4.
right there, nice and smooth.
We're kind of just running in his tire tracks for the time being. And here we go with a big run off of turn 4, like I expected. Okay. 2 to go this time as we cross the bricks
We're
here
on
at
the high
Indianapolis Speedway.
2 to go. We can do this all day.
We have led so far every lap of this race, and Jimmie Johnson has been just holding tough in second place. Bowyer has now dropped back from 3rd to 4th place, and that wouldn't surprise me if that was Kyle Busch up there in 3rd, but I believe that's probably Kurt Busch. But we'll find out when the official results of the race are in. So we're coming down 3 and 4. Coming off turn 4. And as we hit the bricks, the white flag will be in the
Come
air.
on, Victor Lane, buddy. This is it.
Down into turns 1 and 2, swung a little bit wide. Don't want to hit that wall,
Whatever you're doing, you just keep doing it.
because whatever happens now is the race. There's no caution on the final lap. We just race back to the line. As we're heading into turns 3 for the final time. Coming through the short chute. And we're off turn 4.
Oh yeah.
No pressure from behind.
Absolute Truex style
And in a
domination
repeat
right here.
of the last season, we're going to go and kiss the bricks here at Indianapolis.
Great job, man. Great job. That's what it's all about right there. We'll see you in Victor Lane.
Awesome win for us. Awesome win. As we're trying to get the car turned around to do our Polish victory lap. Awesome win. It does that. I mean, I had to know that this was going to happen. If we get out in clean air, we're pretty much going to dominate the race. And we did it in an absolute Martin Truex Jr. of 2017 style fashion. Where we just get out there and we're in another zip code for the most part. That's not to say Jimmie Johnson wasn't catching us. It would have been interesting to see what a at least a half-length race would have looked like. And to see how the tires all hold up and everything. Yeah, look at all these fans. Fans are on their feet as we've completed another dominating win here at Indianapolis. We did last year. Clint Bowyer ran second to us. And if you remember, Clint Bowyer had the opportunity to pass us at one point, but gave us a push. And when he gave us that push into turn 1, we just never looked back. And similar thing happened here. If Ragan and Johnson were not battling side by side, it would have been quite a battle between me and Jimmie Johnson for the lead. But as it stands, they were battling, that got us out front, and we just never looked back.
The victory lap is for the fans up here. I know for the viewers watching, they want to see some burnouts. They want to see some burnouts. Y'all want to see some burnouts, don't you? Yeah? You want to see me burn down the house? Let's do it then.
They're loving you for that one, man.
Woo! Ah.
Woo! Way to go.
Yeah! Woo! Oh yeah.
Okay, guys, here are the point standings. Here is the race results for the Brantley Gilbert Big Machine 400 at the Brickyard. We have won our second Brickyard 400. We get to kiss the bricks, logging the fastest lap of the race. Also, Jimmie Johnson comes in second, Kurt Busch in third, Clint Boyer in fourth, fifth is Jeff Gordon, sixth is Greg Biffle, seventh AJ Allmendinger, eighth is Tony Stewart, ninth is Ryan Blaney, and rounding out the top 10 is Brad Keselowski. So, yeah, finally got us a win after we've been waiting patiently for so long. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the points leader, finishes 17th. This is going to shake the points up a little bit. We've got to see how that works out. But yeah, I believe this is win number 6 for us. Win number 6 for the NASCAR 15 Let's Play, and that's pretty decent. Like I said, we were just class of the field here. Absolute domination. As it appears that Richard Childress Racing, Paul Menard, and Josh Wise of Phil Parsons Racing are the only ones that finished one lap down. So there's the race results. Alright guys, so here are the point standings. As you can see, we have now climbed our way back to the top spot on the points, with our 6th win coming today at the Brickyard 400 with 11 poles and 14 top 10s. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been moved back to 2nd for Hendrick Motorsports with 2 wins and 12 top 10s. Kurt Busch is in 3rd with 1 win for Stewart Haas Racing and 10 top 10s. Tony Stewart is Stewart Haas Racing teammate with 12 top 10s in 4th. Jeff Gordon with 2 wins and 10 top 10s in 5th for Hendrick Motorsports. Brad Keselowski with 1 pole and 9 top 10s for Team Penske in 6th. Denny Hamlin in 7th for Joe Gibbs Racing with 8 top 10s. Carl Edwards, Joe Gibbs Racing teammate with 1 pole and 7 top 10s in 8th for Joe Gibbs Racing. AJ Allmendinger for JTG Daugherty Racing. Always have trouble saying that. With 8 top 10s in 9th. And in 10th is Kevin Harvick for Stewart Haas Racing with 6 top 10s. And let's see now, we'll have Greg Biffle for Roush Fenway Racing with 2 wins and 2 poles and 6 top 10s. Let's see who else. Martin Truex Jr. Furniture Row Racing with 1 win and 5 top 10s. Kyle Busch with 1 win and 5 top 10, 1 pole and 5 top 10s for Joe Gibbs Racing. Ryan Blaney for the Wood Brothers with 1 win and 7 top 10s. Austin Dillon for Richard Childress Racing with 5 top 10s and 1 win. And Matt Kenseth for Joe Gibbs Racing with 2 wins, 1 pole and 6 top 10s. And the last but not least for the challengers is Jamie McMurray with 1 win and 2 top 10s. So yeah guys, gotta be happy with the good showing today at the Brickyard. Definitely needed that to climb our way back to the points lead, but we are having a great battle with Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the top spot in points right now. Not that that really matters because there's always the chase. The chase will shake things up, and then we'll have to, it's one of those winning you're in type things. So we'll just have to see how the chase pans out, and we're not too far away from that. So yeah, like I said, good showing here at the Brickyard. I had a lot of fun here. I know it seemed like it was kind of uneventful. I wasn't around a whole lot of cars or anything like that, but that's just the nature of it. I mean, sometimes you just dominate, man. And I just, this track, if I can get out in clean air, I've always been really good. If I can get out in clean air. And that showed last season, in my rookie season, when I wasn't I'm nowhere near as good as like last season as I am now. So yeah, if I'm going to get out front and dominate, that's going to be the thing. I'm going to get out front and just absolutely dominate. Plus the setups by Delta Force Agency, just they are on point for this track. It seems like they kind of drive themselves at certain times, and you got to be thankful for that. And so big shout out to them. And I needed this. I had a rough go in NASCAR Thunder 2003 this week, so I needed this. It felt good to go back to victory lane. So, and if you follow the NASCAR Thunder 2003 series, you will know what I'm talking about. That video releases 2 hours earlier than this one, so yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Had a lot of fun here. Got to Kicks the Bricks one more time, and yeah. I feel pretty good about it. So if you enjoy these races, I do them every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching and showing this series support. And I will see you in the next race.